Qurban Hussain was a member of the Labour Party, but when the Iraq war happened, as a matter of principle, he left, joined the Liberal Democrats, and as a councillor, he then went on to become the leader of the party there and deputy leader of the council, and he served his party, and today he stood by them. And today, because of that one principle of the party not supporting the war on Iraq and other local issues, and his commitment to his party, they've now made him the Lord and a peer in the House of Lords. Can we have a round of applause and welcome the second person we're most proud of, Lord Qurban Hussain.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Mr. Chairman, Lord Wazir Ahmed, Lord Patel, Mayor of Tower Hamlet, Councillor Luthur Rahman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a good afternoon to you. It gives me a great pleasure to be here today. As I'm not formally sworn in yet, I don't know my way around this building yet. I'm grateful for the organisers of this event who have given me the opportunity to come here and celebrate either Adha as well as success of my other friends and myself. I thank you too for taking time out from your busy work schedules. I know many of you have come a long way as far as Yorkshire and Lancashire, and I thank you all for being here today. I do not intend to make a long speech, but I have to say to you is that personally I have always fought for basic rights, human rights, fairness, justice and international law. These are the few things that I've always fought for. I am a self-made person who don't come from a wealthy background at all. I came to this country at the age of 14, not knowing much English at all. I left school at 16 and started to work in a factory. And I don't hide that fact, because that's what I am. All my education was completed part-time while I was working full-time. I started politics in 1996 when I became councillor for Labour Party for the first time in Luton. Before that, I was a trade union secretary. And as it has already been said, I was part of the Labour Party until the Iraq War began. And of course, within the Labour Party, we tried hard. As Lord Ahmed has said, we went on marches, we campaigned within the party, and lobbied the government not to attack Iraq, while the United Nations was still saying that they want time to investigate whether Saddam Hussein actually did have weapons of mass destruction or not. But of course our government was in a rush with George Bush to go and attack a country, a sovereign country, and we knew. I came from Kashmir and I know the plight of Kashmiri people, and I knew the aftermaths of wars because we had seen wars between India and Pakistan, and where I lived it wasn't very far from the line of control. Well, where we saw people who were coming out of the war zone, and the kind of horror stories that we used to hear from them. And of course, I'm not in favor of any war in the first place, but of course there was no case for Iraq war anyway. But since then, I joined the Liberal Democrats, and Liberal Democrats have been good to me, I have to say. I joined in 2003 and won my seat as a councillor for Liberal Democrats. In 2005, I was a parliamentary candidate for Liberal Democrats in Luton South. I was a European parliamentary candidate for Liberal Democrats in East of England in 2009, and I was selected again as a parliamentary candidate for 2010. And soon after the elections, I had a phone call from Nick Clegg asking me, Qurban, I just wanted an answer from you. Please don't, be brief. I said, go on then, what is it? He said, I want to put your name forward for House of Lords. Will you accept it? And I had to say yes. I'm proud. Well, I'll have to take your advice once I'm in the House that whether I made the right decision or not. But I think it's a great honour for me, for my family, for the community, for the Luton town, and I will do everything that I can. I've always worked with other people from different parties, and I'm glad that I will have my friends who have been in this house for much longer, Lord Nazir Ahmed, that I have a great respect for, and I've always worked with him. We have worked together on in Labour Party, we have worked together on Kashmir, we have worked together on Iraq, anti-Iraq war campaign, and we will continue to work together. I think there's a lot of common ground that we can work together. There's no doubt about that. And I will certainly take his advice on many issues, as he is a most senior politician that I know in the House of Lords, and I shall be working with people like Lord Nazir Ahmed and Lord Patel and others. And all I can say to you is that I will do everything that I can to represent the community as a whole. When you are a public representative, you are a representative of the whole community, not of a particular religious or cultural group. But nevertheless, I feel, as I did as a councillor, there is extra responsibility on people who belong to minorities for the rights of the minorities in their own areas. And when you become a Lord or Member of Parliament, of course, you have extra responsibility of looking after the rights of the minorities. And the Muslim community is going through a very challenging time at the moment. And I think what we all need to do is work together and change the image, the negative image the Muslim community is getting. We need to change that. And I think one thing that we need to do our best, wherever we are, whichever political party we might be in, or culturally we are active, religiously we are active, socially we are active, try to get the few extremists that we have in our own society back into the mainstream. I think that's very important. They are taking our children away from us. They are working in colleges, they are working in universities, they are working in schools. They are a very small group of people, no doubt about that, but they are doing their best. And Luton has created a very bad name. It's got more than the fair share of the negative publicity. Even today, there's somebody from Luton who went and did some nasty piece of work in Sweden. And also Jones, whatever his full name is, Teddy Jones, he's coming to Luton as well. Why? I don't think he's welcome in Luton at all. Nobody wants him in Luton. Nobody wants him in the UK. Let the government know that we don't welcome him at all. And I'm running a campaign from today to lobby the government to say, don't let this man come in and destroy our race relation that we enjoy in this country. And with that, I thank once again the organizers and all of you for organizing this function and listening to me as well. Thank you very much.